Real quick here, if you're even thinking about buying a new or used car, truck, or SUV this year, hit subscribe. Each week, I break down which cars to avoid, which ones actually hold their value, how to make sure you don't overpay at the dealership, and how to avoid picking the wrong trim. I appreciate the support, and thanks again for watching. Today I'm giving you 5 used EVs I'd seriously consider buying in 2026, and 5 I'd be very careful with. Not because every avoid vehicle is terrible, but because when you're buying used, out of warranty, with battery health, charging speed, depreciation, insurance, and repair costs all in play, you better know what you're walking into before the dealer hands you the keys. And before you buy anything new or used, car, truck, or SUV, check real dealer pricing in your zip code at quotes.everymandriver.com. It's a free search engine. It works for new and used vehicles and helps you compare offers before you overpay. That's quotes.everymandriver.com. There's also a direct link below the video. All right, let's start with the ones I'd be cautious about. The Nissan Leaf. It deserves respect. It helped bring EVs into the mainstream. It was affordable, simple, and for a lot of people, it was their first electric car. But as a used EV in 2026, I'd be very careful with older Leafs. The biggest issue is range and battery degradation. Older Leaf models can look incredibly cheap online, and that's exactly what pulls people in. You see one for a low price and think, wait, I can get an EV for that? But here's the catch. Many older Leafs had limited range even when they were new. And once you factor in age, heat exposure, battery degradation, and real-world driving, that bargain EV can quickly become a short-range errand car. And that may be fine if all you need is a local commuter. But if you're buying it thinking it's going to replace a normal gas car, that's where disappointment starts. The Leaf also uses CHAdeMO fast charging, which is becoming less common compared with other charging standards. So even if the car is cheap, the charging experience may feel dated depending on where you live. My take, an older Leaf may make sense as a second car, a local roundabout, or a cheap commuter if the battery health is strong and the price is almost impossible to ignore. But as a main vehicle, I'd be very careful. This is one of those cars where the price is only half the story. Now here's a used EV I would absolutely consider, the Chevrolet Bolt EV. The Bolt is not flashy, it's not going to impress your neighbors, it doesn't have Tesla hype, luxury badging, or futuristic styling, but that's exactly why I like it. The Bolt is practical, efficient, easy to live with, and in many used car markets, it can be one of the best values in the entire EV space. You get useful range, a small footprint, good city drivability, and a simple ownership experience. And because so many Bolts were sold, there's more information out there about ownership, maintenance, recalls, and battery health. Now you still have to do your homework. You want to check whether recall work was completed, verify battery history, and make sure the price makes sense compared with mileage and condition. But as a smart used EV for someone who can charge at home and wants an inexpensive commuter, this is one of the strongest picks. The Bolt is the used EV for people who don't need to look cool, they just want the math to work. And sometimes that's the smartest kind of car to buy. The Jaguar I-Pace is tempting, I get it. It looks cool, it feels premium, it has real performance. And used car prices can look shocking compared to what these things cost new. But that's exactly why I'd be cautious. Luxury EV depreciation can be brutal. And when a vehicle was expensive new, the repair costs don't always depreciate with it. That's the trap. You may buy the I-Pace at a used car price, but you still have to maintain it like a luxury EV. Specialized repairs, expensive parts, fewer qualified service centers, and uncertain long-term ownership costs can all become real concerns. The I-Pace is not automatically a bad vehicle, but it's not the used EV I'd recommend to someone who wants predictable, budget-friendly ownership. This is more of an enthusiast buy. If you know what you're doing, have warranty coverage, have a good specialist nearby, and you're comfortable with risk, then maybe. But if you're just looking for a cheap used EV because you saw a luxury badge for a surprisingly low price, slow down. Cheap luxury cars are rarely cheap forever, and cheap luxury EVs can be even trickier. The Hyundai Kona Electric is one of those used EVs that doesn't get enough attention, and that's part of why I like it. It's small, efficient, practical, and for the right buyer, it can be a very smart used purchase. You're not getting a huge SUV, you're not getting 3 rows, you're not getting a massive luxury cabin, but what you are getting is a compact EV with useful real-world range, a familiar driving experience, and a body style that makes sense for everyday life. For city driving, commuting, errands, and normal family use, the Kona Electric can be a really solid fit. And because it doesn't carry the same hype as Tesla, prices can sometimes be more reasonable. Now, just like any used EV, you need to check battery health, charging habits, service history, and warranty coverage. But if I'm shopping for a used EV under a realistic budget, the Kona Electric is absolutely on my list. It's not exciting in the traditional car review sense, but it checks the boxes that matter: range, usability, efficiency, and value. And in 2026, that combination matters more than ever. The BMW i3 is fascinating. It's quirky, lightweight, futuristic, and honestly, still one of the most interesting EVs ever made. But would I recommend it to most used EV buyers this year? Probably not. The i3 is a niche vehicle, and niche vehicles can be fun to own until something breaks. The design, tires, and packaging are all unusual. The ownership experience is unusual as well, and when you're buying used, unusual can become expensive. Range is also a concern, especially on older versions. Some i3 models include a range extender, which helped, but that also adds complexity. So now you're not just buying an EV, you may be buying a small EV with a tiny gas engine on board, unique parts, odd tire sizes, limited space, and a very specific ownership profile. For the right person, the i3 can still be cool. If you love the design, have a short commute, understand the limitations, and find one in great conditions, I get it. But as a general used EV recommendation, I would avoid it. It's too specialized for the average buyer. And average buyers usually regret specialized cars when the first unexpected bill shows up. Now, this is probably the most obvious used EV to consider, the Tesla Model 3. Now, I know Tesla is a controversial brand. Some people love them, some people are done with them. Some people will argue in the comments before I even finish this sentence. But set the emotions aside for a moment. As a used EV, the Model 3 has a lot going for it. Strong range, good performance, a huge owner base, a massive amount of real-world data, and one of the better charging experiences if you're road tripping or relying on fast charging. That matters. Because with EV ownership, charging access can make or break the whole experience. Now, I would not buy just any used Model 3 blindly. You need to check mileage, battery health, accident history, tire wear, suspension condition, software features, and whether the price actually reflects the market. Some used Teslas are good deals, some are overpriced because the seller still thinks it's 2021. But if you find the right one at the right price, the Model 3 is one of the safer used EV bets. Not because it's perfect, it's not, but because it's proven, common, efficient, and easier to understand than a lot of orphaned or low-volume EVs. In the used EV world, boring predictability is valuable, and the Model 3 gives you more of that than people want to admit. The Audi e-tron is another tempting one. Luxury badge, comfortable cabin, smooth ride, premium feel, and used prices can look attractive as well. But this is where you have to ask a painful question. Why did this expensive luxury EV get so cheap? Early Audi e-tron models can depreciate hard, and while that depreciation might look like an opportunity, it also can be a warning. This is a heavy luxury EV with complex systems, expensive components, and potentially high repair costs once warranty coverage is gone. It may be comfortable and refined, but it's not necessarily efficient compared with newer EVs. And in a used EV, efficiency matters, because less efficiency means more charging, more energy use, and potentially less convenience. Again, I'm not saying every used e-tron is a disaster, but I'm saying this is not the EV I'd recommend to the budget-focused buyer who wants low-risk ownership. It's the kind of vehicle that looks like a deal at the purchase price, then reminds you later that it was built as a luxury vehicle. If you want one, I'd want warranty coverage, strong service records, and a purchase price low enough to justify the risk. Otherwise, I'd keep shopping. The The Kia Niro EV is one of the most sensible used EVs on the market, and I mean that as a compliment. It's not trying to be a spaceship, a luxury car, or trying to win any drag races. It's just a practical electric crossover style vehicle that makes a lot of sense for normal everyday people. You get useful range, decent cargo space, a comfortable cabin, and enough practicality for commuting or errands and small family duty. The Niro EV also benefits from being familiar. It feels more like a regular car than some EVs, which is exactly what a lot of buyers actually want. Not everyone wants a giant screen and no buttons. Some people just want to get in, drive, charge at home, and not think about it all day. That's where the Niro EV fits. As always, check the battery, service history, compare prices, don't overpay. But as a used EV that balances practicality, efficiency, and value, the Niro EV is one I definitely consider. This is the kind of used EV that doesn't need to be exciting to be smart. And for a lot of buyers, smart beats exciting every single time. Now, this one may upset some Tesla fans, but I'd be very careful with older, high mileage Tesla Model S sedans. The Model S was a groundbreaking vehicle, no question. It changed the EV conversation. It made electric cars fast, desirable, and mainstream in a way few vehicles ever have. But when you're buying an older, used Model S, you need to separate the legend from the ownership reality. These cars were expensive when new. They have big battery packs, advanced electronics, air suspension on some models, expensive screens, door handles, charging components, and plenty of high-dollar systems that can become painful after warranty. A used Model S can look like a dream. Big performance, big range, big screen, premium image. But if it's older, has high mileage, and out of warranty, you need to be honest about the risk, because you're not buying a cheap sedan. You're buying a depreciated luxury EV, and those are not the same thing. Would I buy one if I had excellent service history, strong battery health, good warranty coverage, and a killer price? Maybe, but would I recommend one to the average buyer trying to save money? No. The Model 3 is usually the smarter used Tesla. The older Model S is the tempting one, and in car buying, tempting is often where trouble begins. My top used EV buy candidate in this list is the Ford Mustang Mach-E. I said it, yes. I know some people still don't like that Ford used the Mustang name. Fine, argue about the badge in the comments. But as a used EV, the Mach-E is getting more interesting. It gives buyers a useful crossover shape, strong available range depending on the trim, a comfortable interior, good everyday usability, and a more traditional dealer service network than some EV startups. It also sits in the sweet spot for a lot of American buyers. It's not too small, it's not weird, not too niche, and as more used examples hit the market, pricing can become much more attractive than buying new. Now, I'd still be selective. I'd compare standard range versus extended range. I'd look carefully at trim, battery, charging needs, warranty coverage, and software updates. And I would not overpay just because it has Mustang in the name. But if you want a used EV that feels modern, practical, and easy enough to live with as a daily driver, the Mach-E belongs near the top of the list. No, it's not perfect, but compared with a lot of used EVs that are too old, too niche, too short range, or too risky out of warranty, the Mach-E feels like one of the better balances of value and usability. For the right price, this is the one I'd be watching very closely. Of course, before you buy, do your research. Compare real prices in your zip code from qualified dealerships at quotes.everymandriver.com. It's a free search engine. There's also a link below. It works for new and used vehicles, and it can help you see what dealers are actually offering before you ever walk in. Again, there's also a direct link below. Now I want to hear from you. Would you buy a used EV in 2026? And if so, which one would you trust the most? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you want more no-nonsense car buying advice, subscribe to Everyman Driver. We've been uploading new videos every week since 2012. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. One final note, if you are in the market for a new vehicle soon, great. Connect with your local dealership and price and test drive at least 3 different vehicles. A vehicle's strengths and weaknesses can only be discovered when you are behind the wheel. My reviews can be good, but you need to test drive these yourself. Visit quotes.everymandriver.com, select the make, model, and your zip code, and you'll get invoice pricing in your area on those vehicles. Shop smarter with price quotes at quotes.everymandriver.com.